Welcome back to the HGC. Method and the Monkeys continue to face off. Method looking like they're just a little bit stronger when it comes to ending games. In both matches, they were able to find a moment where they got a kill or two on their opponents and then set up a macro play, whether it be night camps, moving into a boss, setting up the tributes to grab a substantial lead, and then one more team fight, and they win the game.
In general, they are just dominating the macro aspect of the game. It was especially transparent if you look at how Cursed Hollow went. Already from the split that the Monkeys had, they didn't get any value, and we saw the 4 taken out towards the top lane from Method, and they just took it from there. The big lead that they had in experience helped them to secure the first tribute since they had the early level 7. They could make a play for the second, but still didn't heavily commit since they knew they would guarantee the third tribute on their end. Through level 10, the advantage that they had in experience. And as you said, like, they ran with advantages really well, played the macro aspect of the game, and won. So Monkeys were just, on Cursed Hollow, they were simply outclassed. Tomb was a bit of a different story, but on Cursed Hollow, there was never a moment, I feel, where the Monkeys could really come back into it outside of them getting a snap kill in one of those fights with a good engage, and they didn't find that engage.
And we'll see if they'll be able to handle the macro of Method as we head into game number 3. Method will be choosing the battleground as the Monkeys elect to have first pick. Dragonshire is the map chosen here.
Yeah, talking about macro game. Dragonshire, definitely a map where you need that in spades, and Method definitely has that. It's another map where you have to think about Medivh and the rotation that can come in. You have to keep also your eyes on all of the global heroes that we could see. So the draft is going to be interesting. And I mean, Alex talked about it. They need a draft that really forces Method to react to them, and so far they haven't found it. Yeah,
Method so far being the ones that are pretty aggressive at forcing the fights that they want to. I mean, of course, in game number 1, that makes sense with the Medivh composition, with the ADRD constantly rotating around, having full vision, they'll be able to get the fights they want. But going to game number 3, hopefully hiding a little bit more knowledge could be good here in terms of grabbing for night camps early, looking at giants. You can try to do a little slip of macro play if you're here and there, and just try to win that tug of war when it comes to Shrine, especially in that top lane. Yrel will be another factor, but Tahaka could be one that really pops up, as mentioned by Caldor, with the global aspect.
Also, I want to see if there is again a banner Nubarak from Method. If they really feel, okay, this is a hero that has been now played over and over again by our opponent, then make sure that we take that out. Or if there's a priority fight over Mirrodin, which could be another issue here, since Mirrodin just excels on the battleground. So let's get this started up. First ban, Monkeys banning Abathur again. They always were a team that hated Abathur with a passion, and ADRD has played a lot of Abathur here. I mean, his main heroes are the ones that he's probably the most known for are Tacita, Abathur, and Medivh. But what's going to be the ban for Method? Are they going to go with the Nubarak again? Are they trying to target the tanks? Or are we going to see them with the ban on Genji or Tracer? And they go for Genji here. Would still allow Tracer to come through. Could maybe even see the Monkeys go and start things off with Malfurion again, so that they have the option of heading into Tracer later on in the draft.
Yeah. They go with Yrel, though. Is it time?
It's time. I think it's time.
Josh, are you ready? Is it time?
I think it's time for another goat fact.
We're almost ready for the goat fact. It's being prepped. Goat facts?
Oh, that has to be a good one.
They need to be accurate.
I think people are actually hyped for the goat facts right now. They know that they are learning here.
Let's do it.
This is an educational thing.
The female goat is called a doe or an Annie.
You see, I didn't know that. I feel so much.
Now you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is one of those things where I go back home, go to sleep, and I'm like, not sure what I did today, but I learned something.
I learned something. If I ever get a pet goat, I'll know to call her a doe. Or if the goat is male, it's a billy. Things that we've learned today. I feel good about today.
Yeah.
Good Saturday.
A lot of bananas, a lot of monkeys, a lot of goats. Yeah. It's good.
After our second series, I can nap and be content that I didn't waste my time. Yeah. Feels good, man.
Your mom asks you, what are you doing? You're like, Mom, I'm learning.
I'm learning.
I'm learning things.
Then you turn around and you look her straight in the eyes and say,
did you know?
Can we get a zoom in on
this? Did you know?
This is what you do when your mom says, what are you doing today?
Mom, did you know a female goat is called a nanny? She probably had no idea.
Or a doe.
She learned something too.
Yeah.
We're making people smarter, one draft at a time.
Bettering lives. Deckard Cain and Phoenix comes out for Method. Cain, being a favorite of Cursen's, he was one of the first to show it off at the MSB. And Phoenix to follow up afterwards.
So, Monkeys. Tracer's still out there. You can still go for Malfurion. So there's definitely still the option for them to pull it off. Yrel already on that top lane is going to have a lot of control over the Shrine and the lane. That's one of the highlights of her. but this is going to dictate a lot what's going to happen on the rest of the map. They could, outside of the Tracer Malfurion combo, also think about maybe going for something else instead, and let's say take Meridian early. That's another one.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Meridian, especially Phoenix being here on the left side.
Yeah.
Gives you a better tool to engage on him. Drop that Storm Bolt, slow him down on the engage that he wants, really stress him out. And
there we have him.
Monkey's moving to it, so that's the Meridian. And we're going to get Hanzo for the third pickup. And we'll see if Crosby can pull that off.
Are we missing the hero sounds, by the way? Like, I'm so used to Hanzo just going
Honor!
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 No Honor today.
I don't get that anymore. I'm a little bit sad.
They wanted to make room for our goat facts, so they turned off the audio. So you don't hear Yrel, do your worst. That's what she yells, right? Pretty sure.
Genji's like a little crybaby that always wants healing.
He doesn't say that when he's picked, though.
Basically,
he just comes in, I need healing.
He should.
He honestly should.
As a Genji player, you complain about healing constantly. You have full HP, you're not even close to the fight, it doesn't matter. You just go in and you're like, I need healing.
Honestly, if we get a petition for that, I honestly think we need a petition. I'd sign it. I don't sign many petitions, but that one I can get behind.
Yeah, I would rather sign the petition to remove Genji. Or get like a big hammer. Whenever you see the Genji play whack-a-mole, you just destroy
I
it.
mean, next week when we have 3 bans, Genji's pretty much removed from the game forever.
Yeah.
So we're fine on that front. Karazim!
You're not wrong.
Banned. Method, sticking away from the full dive that can come in with Meridian, Karazim, Yrel.
Didn't expect that ban though.
But it makes sense. We saw them actually pull it off in Gainer 1. They may feel like this is actually a really powerful combo that it's hard to escape.
Yeah, no, it really makes sense. If you're Method and you want to go into Cho'Gall, you have 3 heroes that you try and target, Leora, Karazim, and Tigers. You have to make a choice.
Yeah.
No, but like, dumb jokes aside, Karazim is still something that I didn't really expect as a ban. I thought they would be okay with that. I mean, what does it indicate about the tank that they are going to play right now? Because you're looking at Phoenix and you immediately jump to Diablo as an option. We could see, I suppose, also Garrosh being played here.
Yeah.
And once all that happens, I think Karazim becomes a bit more powerful. But normally when you're seeing really Karazim targeted, one of the thoughts that you have is that there's a bit of a problem with when Abathar is, for example, in the draft, because he just empowers Karazim so much. I think for them it's really just that Tracer play that they're trying to make a bit safer, making sure that Karazim can just jump in and put that extra damage on Tracer when she's trying to dive.
Task Tracer for the 3rd and 4th pick. Both heroes making it all the way down in the rotations. Method identifying that and grabbing the deadly duo, which will be an issue for Hanzo, especially if they come in for evades.
Tesla is at a 10 and 6 rate right now, 10 wins, 6 losses, so he's doing fairly well. Like, we don't have that many double support setups, but if there is a double support setup, it usually centers around him.
Dude, whenever we get Ultra Pass, we're going to get even more Tassadar. His force wall around the objective is incredibly difficult to deal with. The low cooldown, the chokes, he's going to be showing up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets voted in by the players, yeah, it's definitely true. It's going to be a while, but still, that's definitely a map where I could see Braxis, for example, being replaced by All Direct Pass.
4th and 5th pick here. A little bit more damage needed. Of course, we need a support coming in for the Monkeys.
It screams Malfurion right now. Rhaegar and Greymane, the Wolf Duo is coming in. And Greymane with another attempt to boost his win rate a bit. 2 wins, 12 losses on him. So far, he has not been a happy dog.
Yeah, you may scream for Malfurion, but they howl for Rhaegar and Greymane. They are looking to bring their own dive. Meridian, Yrel, Greymane. Rhaegar can come in for a couple butt bites.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Greymane is good against Tracer. Go for the throw, trying to finish her off here if Tassadar doesn't get the shields out. The thing with that card is it's usually not really the support that you jump to immediately when you think Tracer, but the good part is really that he has the shield talent level 4 as well. So the potions can really work out for Tracer, and you just keep stacking those shields.
Anything that can increase her health bar. Shields from Tassadar, shields from Deckard Cain. Final pickup here, looking into our tanks. What do you like here? I kind of like a Nubarak. I feel like it's a little bit squishy. And there's still Garrosh up and such, but...
Can shut down Rhaegar for the heals, yeah?
Yeah.
Could do that. I think they're going to go with something a bit more hit point heavy though, but I think a Nubarak would
Diablo.
still be strong. Yeah.
There he is.
Diablo and Phoenix again, like it's such an old school comp. But if you want to be more aggressive, then a Nubarak is definitely a choice.
Old school combo. He's been out for like 3 months tops. The oldest of combos coming out.
Bad choice of words. Standard would have been a more appropriate word here.
Just funny. Just funny. All right.
What was I thinking about? I usually have some thought process in the back of my head, and I like mix what I say and what I think.
It's almost routine now, so the old school combo doesn't make sense.
It's a routine, yeah.
It's new old school.
But yeah, like, it's a new old school.
It's new old school, yeah.
New school.
New school.
Yep.
The new school combo coming out with Diablo and Phoenix. Is it enough to get the 3-0? Yeah. Yeah, it is enough.
With Tracer Tacita?
Especially moving into the mid to late game, Diablo scaling up.
Who is top lane, though? Is that just going to be Phoenix top laning for now?
It might be Tracer Tacita.
Running a double setup.
Yeah.
Could do that. It depends a bit on the split, but I really think, I mean, Method goes away from the traditional setup that you have here, but I feel still that with Tracer Tacita and Phoenix, this is going to be great for them. Phoenix can take the solo lane quite easily. I mean, he's not going to win against URL, but he's going to be in a spot where he's at least not going to outright lose it.
All right, well, let's go into game number 3. We'll see if the Monkeys can bite back, or if we'll be going to a game 3 with a lead here for Method as they get the big victory. Here on the left side, Ethereal playing Tracer, Bad Bunny on Diablo, Curson on Deckard, ADRD on Tassadar, and Nick to play some Phoenix.
Down 0-2 in the series on the right side. It's time for monkey business here. And this time we have them actually with Urel, but first of all we see Crosby on Hanzo. We're seeing Muck at this time on Greymane. He's going to try and target Tracer. Alex the Frog on Urel, Rimmerballer himself on the front with Muradin, and of course Blender on Rhaegar. Now the one thing with Rhaegar is actually that we even see Bloodlust yesterday in North America. Didn't really go all that well.
Really?
Yeah.
Missed that game.
Endemic tried to use Bloodlust composition on this particular map in game number 5, and never really worked out for them. I think they got a single fight where they were trying to play Bloodlust, but they were more or less out-rotated. They never really got the team fight that they wanted, and the one fight they used Bloodlust, it also didn't have an effect, so it didn't work out. The interesting part, though, is why I'm talking about it, is if you actually look towards Asia and more so towards China, Bloodlust is right now one of the go-to talents for Rhaegar to pick. Like every time you have Bloodlust taken, or you have Rhaegar picked, you see an immediate Bloodlust comp coming out, which is super interesting. Don't really feel we're going to see that mirrored in the West anytime soon, but it's an interesting deviation.
Yeah, with Rhaegar having his changes here, I mean, I see worlds where Bloodlust is picked up, but I think a lot of people are kind of writing off Ancestor Healing a little bit too much because of the slight nerf that it had to it.
It's still a great talent.
Yeah, it's still a great heroic.
Having that panic button there. The problem with Bloodlust is always you have to really get value out of it, and a lot of the tools in the game are around disengage, and if you're going up against a composition that allows you to disengage from your opponent, just walk away, Bloodlust doesn't get value. So a lot of the Bloodlust compositions that we see, especially when you look towards China, really are dedicated to keep an opponent play. You could, for example, see it with Maiev in a cage. So you're trying to force that setup so that Bloodlust is going to give you some value. I mean, the typical case of where it doesn't work is you're going up against a Forcer that simply gusts you away, and that's it.
Yeah, Emerald Wind, Bright Wing, things that knock away from a fight. Now that I think about it, I kind of want to run a Bloodlust composition against a Hanzo and BOE to see if I could still win that Immortal race, or if Hanzo would still beat me.
Just the race, not even for the team fight.
Yeah, 5v1 Hanzo, see if I can do it.
It's got to be close.
Merc play for Method, though, is looking good. Once again, continuing to do well on the macro. They grab those shrines, get the Giants, have it breaking down the bottom. Bad Bunny in the middle trying to set up for this potential shrine, but with the push in the top lane happening for the Monkeys, Method wants to make sure they can control the bottom. And Monkeys actually right now take the bottom with a total of 3.
The Monkeys are going to be very dependent on the level 10 talents around Greymane to put the pressure on the Tracer. And right now, Method is doing a solid job here. I mean, Curson is also anchoring the bottom right now together with Ethereal and ADRD, but actually, Monkeys are doing pretty well this early now too. Method is walking away with slight lead, but that counterplay through the Siege Giants at bot lane allow Monkeys to at least equalize the experience count. The one thing is really just the quick rotations that we see from Method to Tracer, and already good damage on Crosby. He needs to jump out here. The problem just is that Alex should always be able to recapture the top lane going up against Phoenix. As long as there's no second hero rotating up, he should always be able to recapture it.
Splendor working on grabbing that bottom left. Ethereal trading so well, though, with the shields and potions for him. Able to keep working on those pulse bombs. One about to be up and ready for them. However, Monkey's starting to hold a little bit. Nice little poke here from Crosby. Make waiting for someone to get low. ADRD maybe using a dimensional shift. Tracer going down to half health. He can jump in, of course, go in that Worgen form and try to shred them down.
Yeah, bot lane is still pretty heavily fought over. Phoenix is suffering a bit at the top lane, but he's just exchanging shields now. Urel has it sustained though. Nice! Ooh. Triple seal. Maka in trouble, and Ethereal is leaving with a parting gift here to confirm the kill.
Parting gift, landing it in the recall too. Back to potions and back to full health. That'll be the shrine to the south. However, as you mentioned, Urel doing well in the top lane, already keeping Phoenix back at bay. Not going to be an instant grab, but having a nice little experience chunk there, grab from that kill. We'll be able to have a team potentially move over and grab those Giants up. They'll be spawning pretty darn soon here.
Yeah, now of course we also have the level 7 talent, and especially when you're playing Deckard into Rhaegar, you can really reduce the health that your opponent is going to get through an Ancestral. So that's definitely something where the two supports are going to go up against each other, when Deckard is going to try and counteract the heroic ability if he can throw that cube out in time. Throwing out damage, that's what we're seeing from the Monkeys though, forcing Nick back and forcing him to tap. And now Alex is rotating top and reclaiming that, trying to make sure that once Bad Benny rotates in, he can still hold the spot here.
Middle, almost got a kill on Rhaegar, got him down a little bit, but he was able to zap away and heal on up. He is just fine.
It's still fairly even in experience. Monkeys are trailing a bit behind, but it's not by too much.
Yeah, but that's typically the state for a Dragon Starter. It's a matter of you get that one kill and who gets that first dragon, right? It's a constant tug of war, stretching each other thin. One way that you can start to move in for those dragons is with the Giants respawning, and they just popped up at the bottom left, and soon here for the Monkeys in the bottom right. It's a matter of trying to find a little bit of space, though.
AD is really putting his level 7 to good use. The extra range that you now have to cast your basic abilities is constantly being used here to use Psionic Storms against the turrets as well, and just whittles those HP down. And once you get those structures out of the way, you can of course then aim for the fountain, but you also grab the experience. I really like that both of the teams are very adamant about taking those Siege Giant camps and trying to prepare heavy pushes through the bot and the top lane. Method hasn't really targeted their own Knight camp with the same zeal that we're seeing from the Monkeys, who have been taking that consistently. But the bot lane pressure is definitely there. Pressure also in the middle as Benny is being attacked, but AD already has an easy time keeping him alive with these shields.
Deckard's coming, he gets a slow. Window Tracer rotating over. Not going to be a kill, just trying to keep him here in the middle. Tracer thinking about jumping on Hanzo. Probably playing as safe as he can. He actually goes for it. Tracer moves in, gets the parting gift, gets decent damage on Hanzo at the bottom.
But here we have again the Knight camp play. So once the camp comes up, they immediately take it, and they've been doing that quite a bit. This is the moment where Method has a bit of an edge though, because they're going to grab the earlier level 10, and once that's in, they're going to attempt to make a play. That can either be to take down structures, to get a kill, or to get the Dragon Knight if they're able to claim both of the shrines.
Great game sense there for Crosby. A small little thing, but realizing that Diablo missed in the middle lane, he put the Sonic Arrow up in that bush in that top right corner, revealed that Diablo was there. Had he not found that out, Diablo may have gotten the upper hand on him, dived him, and tried to kill him against the wall. Crosby once again jumping behind the fort.
There was a lot of breath on him. Lightning Breath being used, AD eating a lot of damage here as Rema Baller went in. More Storm Bolts connecting too. Raymond is still in a bit of trouble, needs to be careful because the Thero on his Tracer is really waiting for a chance to make a play here. But the camp that we've been mentioning earlier is still finding value at the top lane. And this is going to force a rotation for Method eventually, but it's actually the Monkeys that are starting to rotate up for this. Nick should know about that though. I mean, there's no one visible on the map really. Rhaegar showing himself now in the mid lane, but Phoenix is still playing this incredibly safe because Nick just simply doesn't know where is the rest, where's Muradin, where's Greymane, so he made a really good move staying behind the wall.
Arsenal synergy for Phoenix at level 1. So powerful for clearing out night camps. Anything that comes your way, if you're able to get those auto attacks on an opposing member and your rel steps up. Him getting that extra damage on his fourth attack, the third one after the 3 attacks, allows for him to get that splash damage that is amplified. And he just cleared up that night camp pretty well. He actually has both his turrets alive. Typically with a Euro push and a night camp coming your way, you're going to take substantial damage, but good defense by Nick.
Storm Bolts again, getting those stacks up. By the way, also when we're talking about Deckard, he went into the lore NATO. He heard about the gold facts and was so impressed that he also wanted to drop some lore knowledge here. So we're going to see that later. Talking about dropping things, Lightning Breath gets dropped and so does Rhaegar. He goes down as Bad Benny confirms that kill. Crosby came in with the arrow from the bottom attempting to help out in the fight here, but that didn't work out for them. Rhaegar dead and still dreams of the days of the past when he could ancestral himself.
Poor puppy. Couldn't retreat from the Tornado. Tornado able to pull him on in, and they get the pick up on Rhaegar. Jump up in experience, 12.5 to 11.5 of the Monkeys. Bottom trying to control that fort. Starting to be whittled down though in the bottom lane. That's where Method is starting to make a play.
Make Rhaegar great again. Give him the self-ancestral. Blizzard, please.
You've been fighting the battle for 2 years, man. I don't think you'll ever win it.
Yeah, that's a lost battle right there. That's a lost cause if I've ever seen one. Talking about lost causes, right now we're seeing Method attempting to reclaim that bottom shrine. That's not working out. So far we still haven't seen a Dragonite yet, so that hasn't been a reality in this game. But if Method picks up that early level 13 talent that they're about to get, they might just be able to finally claim that bottom shrine. And Urel is now forced to rotate between mid and top lane. That makes it a bit easier for Phoenix to push the lane out. Tacita was actually the one rotating for Method into the middle to make sure they don't lose out on experience. But now they have 13, and that's the moment to make the plays.
13, and the Giant Exchange begins, with 13 being here. Deckard already stepping up a little bit here to the bottom, thinking about maybe getting closer to that shrine, dropping a few potions so his teammates can move in if needed.
I mean, with 13, we have Nullification also for Tacita, and that's a fantastic talent if you want to shut down the damage on the opponent's side.
Greymane.
Yeah, exactly. When the Greymane starts to go in, when Tracer is in trouble, all that Tacita has to do is you drop the shield, you drop the Nullification on Greymane, and then Tracer should be fine. And I mean, Thera has done a really good job together with Curson to not only get the damage in, nice move there, Ancestral negating the Pulse Bomb, but it's just like topping Tracer off every time she makes that engage into the backline. Once she retreats, there's always Curson ready with those shields and those potions. Lornado
being used to try and maybe push Make in, but with Rimmer and Splendor down here at the bottom, Method unable to force his fight in a 3v4. Diablo continuing to soak in the middle lane as so far we've had some pretty good clear here from the Monkeys. Stormbolt comes out, ADRD takes a little bit of damage, but Bad Benny will keep him alive. But so far, Monkeys, as we head into this late game, what, we're almost 10 minutes in? Close on experience.
Yeah, but they can't find the kills, that's their problem.
But neither can Method, right?
Well, we have 2 kills for them, and they got some out of it, and there's actually the first kill for the Monkeys, just as we talk about it. Make does not fall. This could well be a first Dragonite if they play their cards right. They're trying to. The problem is bot lane, you need to be careful. Tracer's alone, but there were a couple of heroes that were incredibly low. Maka already retreating, because if a Thero gets a chance to jump into their backline, he will get the kill and then rewind. That's not quite happening here yet, but that kill for another 10 seconds gives the Monkey Menagerie a bit of an upper hand.
Urel trying to stop Nick, who has grabbed the top shrine, trying to take it away actually, so they can try to make a play for that dragon. Murden thinking about rotating if he needs to, but with them finally getting control, Make goes for the channel. Bad Benny doing everything he can to delay this, and he will, as Tracer grabs south.
Yeah, without Curse Bullet, you can't really threaten Diablo with only the 2 heroes here. They're trying to force him back slowly. 116 is in. It's very likely that we're seeing the Alpha Wolf taken for Greymane. And once that's the case, then you can really start and whittle down the hit point pool of Leoric and you can threaten him. But in this setup, it's very unlikely that a fully stacked Diablo is going to fall to that setup.
A slow but sturdy game here for Method, as they have taken a level lead. They're about to take a 4 down the bottom right corner, and they've been working on this for 10 minutes. And they finally get it, so they jump up in experience, about to hit 16.
Yeah, and that 16 talent is going to be super important for them, because it's going to be there for a long, long time, and it's going to be a massive advantage. So I'm a little bit worried, actually, for the Monkeys. They've been keeping up for a long time. They even got their kill. But despite the fact that they've been taking these camps, oh, nice dodge by Nick. Great arrow. Just enough. That arrow connects. That's a kill.
Yeah.
But even with the camps that they take the entire time, they were not even able to take a tower down in the top lane. And those small structures that Method has taken out now over the last 10 minutes in the middle at the bot lane, it really just adds up, and it gives them talent advantage. And that's where Method is going to attempt to make these plays now. They've taken the night camp. They're going to try and aggressively take those 2 shrines and maybe even get the first Dragonite here. And 12 minutes in, that bad boy would hurt.
Only have a total of 3 kills so far in this game, 2-1, but when you're pulling off a Hail Mary play in the top lane and it's dodged out on, you know you are hurting. Method, the moment they see that arrow gets used, they get aggressive on the map. As mentioned, the night camp grab, the Giants as well, getting a big push in the bottom lane, trying to see if we can get the Monkeys to have a mistake. Monkeys, meanwhile, are trying to delay as long as possible so they can get 16. Rimmer gets engaged upon by Bad Benny, while Ethereal continues to poke Make. Make gets hit by the triangle. Here comes the lightning breath. He goes, they can't get the pulse bomb. He gets it, but not enough damage.
Yeah, but Tacita, just the edge of the storm takes him out. The last lightning bolt, basically, that zips through, confirms the kill against Greymane. Yeah, unfortunately for them, the 13 talent of Rhaegar was not enough to keep him alive. But that's also one of those plays where we could have seen the Ancestral, but Rhaegar Splendor just decided, okay, it's not needed here. And then Tacita comes in with that extended range through his level 7 talent and is able to drop the Storm just on the edge there. So it was a bit of a miscalculation from Splendor. Easy mistake to make in that case.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the pulse bomb, you think Greymane is safe, you're like, okay, he's going to get away with this, and then Tacita just barely closes that distance.
We're talking milliseconds between being alive and being dead there.
16 is in, though, and that gives us now the talent for Greymane. We have the Alpha Killer.
There it is. Also the additional slow coming in from Rengar at 16, making it much easier to chase down targets. We're able to land that. Arrow comes out. Whiffs again though. Not quite hitting it on the money. ADRD low in the middle lane. Crosby comes in with the arrows. ADRD has to pop the Archon just to use a mental shift. But Diablo's rotating in. Bad Benny might be able to slow this down long enough, but we don't see Tracer coming.
I mean, the story of the game is really how insanely close this has been, but we have now an edge for Method, and they have a 2-level lead. Kill for kill, but Maka is low and he might fall. He's very likely going to no, the Ancestral is there, but he's still not out of the woods yet. Maka goes down. This is where Method is just reaping the rewards for playing such a great game the entire time. We didn't see a lot of kills in the early game, but Method was slowly and steadily getting small advantages here through experience, trying to take towers down, trying to secure kills, having smart rotations on the map. Very uneventful game in the early game outside of these rotations. Not a lot of fights, not a lot of kills, but Method just able to get these small advantages. And this just shows you how much smart play can really get you.
First Dragon in the game, and they go straight for a keep, breaking the fort in the bottom right, as well as the turrets get rewarded. As this Dragon chunks this puppy down. 19 experience. Monkeys may have to consider fighting behind the Dragon here. If not, they'll have to deal with the task of fighting against a level 20 team. Arrow comes out, it will hit connect, hits 2, Tracer lockdown, Ethereal dashes out, but Decker Kane, not so lucky.
They go for the kill and they get it. Now Bad Benny might be in trouble. The Alpha kill is going to be very important, but the Dragon Knight kicks Greymane away. Now the re-engage attempt as they're starting to move down. Tacita isn't here yet. There are no shields, and this is the end of Diablo. Bad Benny falls. Ethereal is also on the run. Benny, of course, had the soul, so he's going to come back. But they're still looking to see if they can maybe get another kill, and Maka might have overstepped here.
Maybe just a little bit. Maka low. Pulse comes at 2 on Splendor. Oxpody jumps in. Here comes Rimmer 2. Stormball, oof, right in the middle. Field goal. 3 points going to Method, but not a kill.
Yeah, they need to calm down. 20 is nearly there for Method, but if they over-chase now, they might lose more heroes.
Alex?
They try and run with the advantage that they have. They go for Tacita, but the dimensional shift is there.
Yes,
another punt comes out, and Tacita actually dies. Now we have Market back in. Phoenix is low. Phoenix is dead. They actually find the kills. Risky plays here by the Monkeys that could have backfired, but they are just racking up one kill after another. Oh no. They took a huge risk because they were aware that Method were close on 20, and they pull off an entire team wipe.
Kane will spawn here, but the Monkeys still need to get infrastructure. There's still forts up, there's still a wall, but look at the experience gap. It gets closed dramatically. Now they can play for level 20. And when we go late game, as long as they keep an eye on the catapults pushing in that bottom lane and they make sure to work on the mercenary camps, they are still in this match.
It was such a risky move to chase this deep by the Monkeys, because the problem they have is if they lose heroes there, it could mean game. But they just decided that it's worth it because they were so far behind. They knew that Method was about to hit 20, so the Monkeys said, if we don't fight now, when are we going to fight? We're going to go up against the level 20 talent that the Method is going to hold for a long, long time, so let's go do or die here. Huge risk by them, and it pays off. A good chase by Alex, a flank around again by Muradin. They lock the heroes down, they take them apart one after another. Now they've taken the bottom fort, they've taken the wall. They cannot really commit to the keep yet, but they have done an enormous amount of damage and opened that game up again.
Wow, even getting the fort here in the middle. If they can take on the well too, that'd be good as they can set up for the next Dragon play. Method, however, is here to stop that from occurring. Rimmer on the side in case Method is to overstep. They can jump in and drop that Stormbolt. But Monkeys, they get a fort. It puts some damage on the middle fort. They hit level 20. And in perfect timing, too. Shrines activate in 20 seconds, and they group as 5.
And there's a lot of potential now with level 20. I mean, on both sides, of course. I mean, Twilight Archon is a huge thing. Bottomless Flask is fantastic when you can set up the Unconquered Spirit, get stuffed. All talents that you would expect from Method, and they're insanely powerful. But then you look over to their opponents, and it's the Storm Shield for Rhaegar. That alone is already fantastic.
Blunderbuss.
Rewind can really give you some fantastic plays if we're going to see Muradin with engage. Good arrow, follow up, ADRD already immediately super low. He gets chunked so hard here. Alex needs to be very careful. He gets the heals alright, he pops his 20 as well. Benny on the run, keep in mind he's not fully stacked yet by any means. Needs to use his gates to jump out. His blink, and talking about jumping out, everybody's just jumping away here as ADRD is chasing.
Yeah, Infinite Archon continuing to chase, trying to get through this bush. Has to be careful of the Storm Bolts. Finally drops down the Storm so he can get a little bit of vision here. Decides to back up, but that Lord Nato from Decker Kane in particular, Cursed, made sure that Monkeys weren't able to fall up on that arrow, had them able to get within melee range. That could have been a kill target or two.
This is actually not really a bad spot for Monkeys. They baited out the Archon, first of all. Yes, Urel also is on another minute in the cooldown when it comes to the heroic, but still, they have still a setup with which they can work here. They didn't use Ancestral, so we have still some defensive tools on their side, so they could engage into another battle here if they find a chance to jump in. They have the lockdown, they have the CC. They just need to get it on one target.
Yeah, the last few minutes of this game, it's gone from not winnable to winnable here for Monkeys. Yeah. From Method, it's gone to losable, right?
Exactly. From Method's perspective, the game was actually very well controlled. A very disciplined game where they just got small advantages that added up over time. That was really well executed. But the Monkeys are coming back with fierce play and good fights. And the team fights now on 20 are possible for them to take. If we have a Stormbolt, Rewind Stormbolt combo with a Hanzo Arrow following up, any kind of additional CC, and then the damage comes in, that's a guaranteed kill. So if that works out, there's no cleanse. So if they can pull that off, they can basically take down anyone.
Rewind's already been used though, so remember, won't have it for now. We'll shoot it in about 15 seconds. Bad Bunny moves forward, puts some damage out. Phoenix is rotating over, and Hanzo gets taken out with Thero getting aggressive. With the help of the Lightning Breath, they clear it up, and with Nick on his way, Salvo will be up. It hits Make. Make takes damage. He dashes in to try and get a kill, but he's been cleaned up. The Monkeys, they lose 2.
Method wants the game now, and there was no chance for Rega to Ancestral. He was still on the short cooldown and just came off as Greymane falls. Now Urel is dead, and that's 3 heroes down, and that's the moment when you are going to try and end the game. Benny has taken the bot lane now. Rema knows he has to pull something off here, so he goes in, risks the staggered death because he just has no other choice. He's going to clap away here with his healing static and try and keep himself alive long enough, but eventually he is going to fall. Everyone moves away as the second clap comes in. Nick is already channeling in the middle. Murden is down. Splendor attempting to catch the top. Didn't work out. If that goes through, if he can hold the top, maybe he can buy the time that the rest of the team needs to get back. But as is, ADRD is already taking down the shields, and the Dragonite is on the way.
Dragonite's on the way. The Infinite Archon already shredding through the armor. And when the Dragon joins, they'll be able to finish this game. Method comes out today on this Saturday, day 2 of HGC, and they clean up house as they get a 3-0 victory over the Monkeys.
Great play by Method. Monkeys came back in it, and that alone is respectable. It was a very cool attempt at a comeback, but then that last fight, it's just that choke point position, and you have Aethero going in from behind, making sure that he gets that quick kill. And especially with Ancestral, the attempt of saving Hanzo through the Ancestral, then being put on that short cooldown, and during that small time window, the second kill even being confirmed against Marker, both of the damage dealers going down, there was just no way. 3 heroes dead with Alex dying shortly after, and that's all she wrote there. Really well played by Method.
And Aethero delivering on that Tracer. 80k damage throughout the entire match, making sure to use that double support well, trading as much as he can in the early game, landing those pulse bombs, finding that kill on Hanzo towards the end with the help of Diablo, enough to help secure a win for his team. Method, are they the real deal here, man? Are they going to contest that number 2 spot?
I mean, they definitely are.
Yeah.
Already talked about that in the last 2 weeks. I think they are going to be incredibly difficult to take down. It feels really that at this point, and this might change during the weekend, but right now, the top 3 seem to consist of Liquid, Method, and Dignitas.
Sure.
Fnatic, yes, they brought both teams into the 5th game and lost both. You can always make the argument that the 5th game was just unlucky, that there were a few maybe coordination problems that made them lose that one game, but it's just the way that they present themselves, that Method and also Liquid present themselves, which looks really strong. Now with Liquid, we'd have one caveat where we still ask the question, what does the match against the Zealots mean? Where they were also brought to the 5th match. Does that mean just Zealots stepped it up, or is Liquid maybe struggling a little bit more, not quite as consistent as they would hope? But we're going to find out this weekend now, because we have Fnatic also coming in. So we have Fnatic against Leftovers. And yes, that's one of the bottom 4 teams that they go up against, but it's a question of how do they run that series? Is that going to be a 3-0? Is that going to be a 3-1? How do they play here? So it's going to tell us a lot about the power levels within the top 4.
All right, well, it looks like we have Kirsten here from Method, who just earned a big victory, also played some solid Decker Kane, and he's ready to talk. Who's your little friend here?
Oh, it's my doggo, you know. She's a bit mad since I ran it on the last game, but other than that, it's fine.
What's her name?
Bambi.
Bambi?
Yeah.
Okay.
You had a chance to call her Misha, and you didn't go for it.
Not enough. Not enough.
Like, Breeze screwed that up as well when he just bought a cat with his girlfriend, and I'm not quite sure. I think he called her Light. I don't know. Like, Misha was the obvious pick there, too. Ball has been dropped, my friend.
Oh, it's okay. Where you didn't drop the ball was in the match today, as you guys get a big 3-0 victory. Method seems to be the real deal. How are you feeling about your team, man?
I mean, it feels good. I think it's going like as expected when we created the roster again. You know, we're doing good in expert, and now we're doing good again. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Bad Benny talked about that a little bit in his last interview. I mean, you personally, do you enjoy coming back to this new roster? Does it feel like home for you?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's been the team I've been the longest in now, for sure. So it feels good to go back to what I'm used to.
Awesome. Well, over to Caldor.
The dog is just killing me.
It's pretty fluffy.
Yeah, it's one happy dog. Just like
She's
the
quite
expression
happy.
on the face, like, oh, don't stop.
Go over to Caldor. Quit looking at me. He's the one talking about the puppy.
I think I broke the camera or something with my. Oh, no,
that's
I didn't.
unfortunate.
Okay. Not quite. But where do you think you guys stand at this point? Because we're talking a lot about the power levels within the top 4, and you guys look extremely strong. We always come back to the term well-oiled machine. That's basically what it comes down to. But where would you see yourself at this point within the top 4 in Europe? Which place do you think you're going to hold?
I think right now the lowest we can go is third. Maybe we're on second. I think like we're close to Dignitas, and then the rest it depends. We need to check a bit more with Liquid since we haven't played them yet. But against others, we seem to be better. So around second, third.
What changed after you guys banded back together? I mean, there was a after BlizzCon, they decided to go separate ways, and was one of those grass is always green on the other side situations. We talked with Benny about this a little bit. But from your perspective, if you compare the current situation to the situation at the end of 2017, what changed? What's the improvement? Why does this feel now better for you guys?
I mean, I think we're all just more on point. We grew a bit up, got more used to each other. We saw like playing with a different setup, how that feels again, got a bit reminded, and then when we came back, it just worked out again. So we're all happy now at least.
So what's the goal for you guys now? I mean, you made it to BlizzCon last year. What's the goal for the Western Clash, first of all? Is that something where you're saying, okay, we want to go to the grand final? That would already be a win for us. Is it no, everything else but a victory there and taking down Dignitas would be a bit of a disappointment? Don't even have to answer that for the team, just for you personally. What's your goal and your goal for the Western Clash, and ideally also what you expect for BlizzCon?
I mean, my personal goal for the Western Clash at least is to the very least going to the finals and then having a close series there. I would love to win it. I think it's possible, but it will be hard. Anything lower than that, I mean, I won't be mad about it, but I will be a bit disappointed. When it comes to BlizzCon, I'm not sure yet, but it will at least be around top 4, I think, is my guess right now.
All right. Thank you very much. Games from you guys look fantastic so far. I'm looking forward to the next ones, and good luck also for the upcoming Western Clash. I'm just assuming at this point the guys going to make it, that we're not going to see any kind of crazy changes. So yeah, glad to have you guys together again.
Thanks.
Speaking of matches coming your way, tomorrow you actually face off against the Zealots. I don't know if you saw their matches against Team Liquid. I assume you did check them out. How are you feeling about their power level, and are you ready to take them on?
I think it will be a relatively easy series for us. They're looking a bit better, but I mean, if it's anything close to this one, then I think it's going to be a solid one for us at least.
Give me a prediction.
Easy 3-0.
Easy 3-0. Awesome. Well, thank you, Kirsten. Before I let you go, of course, give us shout-outs.
Well, as always, thank you to my sponsors, Method, like saying here. Remember, kids, stay in school, don't do drugs, and bye.
Oh, so wholesome. Kirsten coming out and giving us a little wave from the puppy. 3-0 victory today for Method as they take on the Monkeys, and they shut them down pretty hard.
That dog is just sitting there like, please give him every interview from now on. Got more attention than he gets like all month when Chris is in the interview.
So much love for the doggos. We'll be right back. We'll probably bring back a couple more